Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I had a teacher who taught a class. It was a Torah class, and while I don't remember much of the class, I remember, and I always hold close, the story that he shared, or just the sentiment that he shared at the very beginning of his teaching. It's funny, I always think about what Torah kind of sticks straight to the heart, or what we learn that goes straight to the heart, and sometimes it's not what we expect. And he jokingly said, anyone here raise their hand if you've done something when you were angry, or said something when you were angry, and the next day you said to yourself, wow, I'm so glad I said that. I'm so glad I said that. It captures it all. It captures it all, that feeling of anger. And when we're in that place of anger, our minds leave us. Our bodies, in a sense, leave us. We lose that control that we have over ourselves, over our beings, over our souls, in every sense of what it means to be present and to be here. And in Parashat Vayechi, we're at the very end of the book of Bereshit, and our Parsha is full of blessings. It's full of all of these blessings that Yaakov starts to give to his children, his sons, and also to his grandchildren. It's the blessing we just sang to our children. And in this list of blessings that he gives, specific blessings to each of his 12 sons, there's one that there's a debate about. Our history, our rabbis, we love debating. We love this sense of machloket. And there's a debate saying, is this a curse or is it a blessing? Is it among the list of blessings? And this is the blessing that Yaakov gives to his two sons, to Shimon and Levi, who we saw in the midst of their anger and the way that their sister was treated, they went and they killed all of the people of Shechem. Their anger took them to the extreme of murder. And he comes to the two of them and he has to bless them, and he gives them what we're not sure is a blessing or a curse. And so he comes and he says to them, I'm not going to be in your company. I'm not going to be in your congregation. My presence will not be, since your anger that allowed to kill all of the people and tore through like bulls. He uses the example of them being like bulls. And this is what he then says, Aror apam ki oz. He says, cursed be their anger as it was so strong. Cursed be their anger as it was so strong, that oz, that strength of that anger, and their wrath is so harsh. And the commentary here, there are different rabbis who come in and say, one who says, this is definitely, it's rebuke. There's no way we could see this as not being a curse. Rashi says, it's a curse. One of our biblical commentators from France 1,000 years ago, he comes in, he says it's a curse. But there's something in here that he's not cursing them. He's cursing their anger. He's cursing the anger. And Chizkuni, who lived in France 800 years ago, so they're having a conversation 200 years apart, he comes in and he says, this isn't a curse. It's not a curse, but it's a blessing. Meaning that their anger should not lead to success, so that they will learn not to act out of anger. That they should learn not to act out of anger. So whether the blessing here is about a curse or it's a blessing, the curse is not on the people. That's one of the takeaways that Rashi tells us. The curse is on the anger itself. And then Chizkuni comes to say, anger is a part of who we are, but how do we channel that anger? How do we bring it into our lives in a way that not the anger that takes over our bodies and our souls, the anger that we wake up the next day and say, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't said that. But how do we channel that into blessings in the world around us? How do we sit and say, the world around us infuriates us. It makes us so deeply angry. But we can be blessings in this world. We have that opportunity, and Shabbat comes every single week for us to say, I don't need to go into Shabbat with this anger. I don't need to hold on to the curse of anger in my life. We learn from Shimon and Levi, we learn from Yaakov in this week's parasha that his blessing is, don't let the anger be the success. Don't let that crazy anger lead you and think that that's what we need. We start every Shabbat with Yedid Nefesh, with the love, with a love poem, and saying, how can I take, I'm not saying we need to get rid of the anger, whatever it is we're holding on, that seems impossible, but Shabbat comes to say, here is a taste of that love, and how can I channel that anger into blessings? How do I make it so that the world around me doesn't only infuriate me, but becomes the place that breeds the light that I hope to see in all of this darkness? And so as we take that light, the beauty, the joy, the love of Kabbalat Shabbat, and we turn to the oneness of Baruch Hu, we say we are together, we are here in community, and we're letting go of whatever it is that we're holding on to, that anger that blinds us, and we're opening our eyes to the beauty and the blessing that's ahead for the next 25 hours. I invite you to rise for Baruch Hu if you're able to.